Hi, everyone. I'm Heben.
I'm Tracy.
And welcome to another round with Heben and Tracy.
What's up? What's up? We have Penny in the studio today.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
We are so excited for this week's show, yo.
Why are we so excited for this week's show?
We have motherfucking Crissle from The Read.
Oh my God.
On our show.
Oh my God.
If you, for some reason, don't know what The Read is.
Where have you been? What are you doing?
It's a pop-in podcast that honestly, like, before us, everybody was like, are there any black people in podcasting? And I just refer them to The Read.
Right. They're like the originators of this whole black
I mean, a lot of black people do podcasts. But
right. But theirs was like the first like huge one. Hugely
and they charted really quickly. So shout out to them. And we're really excited to have her on the show. And then we're going to do a little new segment from Tracy called
Tracy's Animal Corner, and y'all, I lobbied so hard from this. And my concern right now is that I'm gonna have too much Hennessy to make it good. I think I've already had too much Hennessy.
Oh my God.
Just the first installment might be a little rough, but just hang in there with me.
So I have a random update for you guys.
Whoop, whoop.
You know how in the live show I was saying, do you think white people would name their child Kale? First of all, I love that everyone just sends me white people's names now. But I just want to update you on a real person that exists, Kale Bro.
Nope. Kale Bro?
He was just drafted in the MLB, baseball. That's baseball.
Good job.
And it's honestly Kale Bro, but the last part is Breau, like French, so he'd be like Kale Bro. But I'm not gonna say that.
Kale what?
No, I'm not gonna do it again. My French is horrible. Anyways, update, there's a real white man named Kale Bro.
I hear what you're saying. I'm choosing not to believe it.
Okay.
It's just too much.
Let's carry on. Tracy, you mentioned you wanted a little update on your dating game.
Oh, okay.
How's that going?
So
we've already gotten some great responses.
Who Wants to Date a Tracy Clayton is still happening.
We put a little call out to do dating game show with Tracy. You send out a little blurb, a little picture, and send eligible bachelors our way to anotherround@buzzfeed.com. How's it going, Tracy?
We're getting some responses.
Yeah, we've gotten some great emails. I'm excited.
We've gotten some emails.
You don't seem that excited.
I'm doing this for you guys.
But is there anything?
Well, reminders, no fedoras, no serial killers. And if you could be in New York, that would be a plus, because that way we can get you to the studio if that's what we decide to do. Tri-state area, maybe, but you have to come to me.
Right.
I'm a busy grown-ass woman. I can't be chasing no men around the D.C. area and shit like that. So try to keep it local. Keep it cute, literally and figuratively.
Okay. I think that's a good update.
All right, cool. So, Heben, one of your favorite celebrity babies has a huge thing happening in her life.
Oh my God, I already know what you're talking about.
Northwest.
Yes.
It's going to be a big sister.
I live for North.
She's going to have a baby brother.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Obviously, I love Kanye. I'm going to love Kanye's child.
Right.
And then North is ridiculously adorable. She's styling on everyone.
So well dressed.
Every single day.
All the time.
In every picture.
Mm-hmm. And now there's going to be two of them.
And she's like, already just, I don't fuck with you. Every single picture's like, why are you doing this? Get the fuck out my face.
I really hope that they name the baby South by South.
Don't do this. No.
The baby's name would be South by Southwest.
Let the Kardashian Wests live.
You know, it's a good joke.
No, it wasn't. Oh, Tracy.
South by South.
Stop it, Tracy. Stop saying it out loud. Tracy, let's get on with the show. I could talk about Northwest for hours. Just follow me on Twitter, guys. All I do is tweet pictures of Northwest.
Oh, man.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
Let's get on with the interview. We're so hyped for it. We are so unbelievably excited to have Crissle from The Read gracing our airwaves.
Blessing the stewed. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So glad to have you. So
when we announced this on Twitter, like, everybody went ham.
Which I think that's why I'm nervous, to be honest, because everybody's like, oh my God, my favorite podcast is in one room. It's going to be great. And so I'm like, shit, we got to make it like a poppin' ass show.
The pressure's on now.
Yes. So we got Hetty. We got some Hennessy for that.
This is the first episode where we have Hennessy in the studio.
Wow, really?
Yes, it's usually bourbon.
Okay, but you
it's in
decided
your honor.
to. Thank you. I appreciate it because this is my favorite.
Yes,
I
same.
try to have it every time I go in the studio, so I appreciate y'all
We want you to
extending
feel
that
at
courtesy
home.
to me.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We like to start all of our interviews with just a basic question. What do you do and why?
Okay, well, I co-host The Read, like you guys just said, which is a pop culture podcast. As far as why, I mean, we kind of just stumbled into the podcasting thing. Our producer, Chris, reached out to Kid Fury about doing a show, and he asked me to do it with him, and that was really just it. The show just kind of took off, and then we also do live shows, and we tour around the country. We've done a show in Canada, and we're going to London in September, which is really exciting.
International
Yes,
shit.
it's
Oh my God.
it's just like, how the F. Can I?
Yes,
I can curse?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
it's just like, how the fuck? Like, how do we even, get to the point where we're selling out shows in London? It's crazy, but
Wow.
Should we be doing more live shows?
We need to do a live show tomorrow.
you probably should be doing more live shows. Anytime you can fit one of those in, even though I get, crazy anxiety around
How do
every
you do
live
that?
show.
Same. We did
just-
one.
I almost died.
know.
The 30 minutes before, I was really about to just go home. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Not today. I can't.
It's nerve wracking, and I've done so many of them at this point, and I'm still every time just like, oh God, sick to my stomach. Right beforehand, my nerves are just so terrible. But Kid Fury told me that Beyonce has the exact same thing, where she still has butterflies before every show, and if Beyonce can be nervous, I can too. So
Amen.
that's how I deal.
That's really
how I
centering.
cope.
That's helpful right now.
Doesn't that just make you feel better? Like,
I feel like I can do whatever I want to do right
Right.
now. I really, really do.
if
Speaking of,
Beyonce can do it,
speaking of Beyonce, this is like one of the.
Let's get into
I'm
it.
dying to ask you this question. So Beyonce has seen your face.
she has.
Beyonce has posted your face
For those who don't know,
to her Facebook. I'm
When-
sorry. I'm just assuming that everybody knows. I'm just like,
why has
course
Beyonce
people
seen
know.
her face? So when Beyonce's surprise album dropped, you were in the middle of recording.
it was a
It was
scandal.
a Google Hangout, and we were talking about the Scandal finale with
Yes.
my friend Cheska Lee. And all of a sudden, I saw an iTunes link, and someone said, "There's a new Beyonce project out." And I said, "Y'all are shitting me." So I clicked on it, and it's like, no, like brand new, like just now. I just was stunned. I was just like, there can't be. There's songs and videos. What is this? Like, it was just a magnificent time to be on the internet, and I could not have been like more shocked and also humbled. I felt like Beyonce did this to let me know that she's always there. Aww. And when you're feeling down, maybe from a Scandal finale or whatever else, Beyonce will gift you with a surprise album. It just felt personal.
Yeah,
So-
it really did. It felt so affirming.
I just love her. Ugh, I just think she's everything. And I just kind of had that very natural Beyonce stan reaction. It was like, oh my God, Beyonce. Beyonce, it was like exactly like that. It was just like the slow breakdown as I realized the magnitude of what she had done. And then I just stand for like, I think 36 solid hours. I was just,
so
and
you
it happened to be
recorded
on
the whole
camera.
thing.
Yeah. Cheska Lee, it was on her Google Hangout. And when it was becoming a thing, like more and more people wanted to see it, she just cut that part and put it on its own YouTube video. But the whole like 90-minute Google Hangout is still on her YouTube somewhere if people want to see it. Because a lot of people accused me of like working for Parkwood, and
What?
Beyonce hired me to have that reaction to generate buzz for the album. Like, Beyonce does not need to pay me of all people to generate buzz for her album. It just so happened that I was on camera when that moment, came forth, and then she put it on Facebook, and it was just like I had the best year ever.
Aww.
Yes.
What does that even feel like?
I was actually at work when that happened, and I was on Facebook and saw Beyonce.
Oh my God.
And so at first I was just like, excuse me? Like, when did I start following a fake Beyonce page? I really was in disbelief for like 90 seconds, and I just started screaming and crying and running around, and all my coworkers were like, what the hell is wrong with you? So that was the day a lot of them found out who I was, because they were like, why do you have
Really?
So they had no
30,000
knowledge of like
Twitter
your
followers?
Wow.
Some of them, very few of them did. The black ones did. Which is funny enough. The black ones were like, bitch, we know who you are. We'll keep it cute, but we know. The rest of them I had to just kind of tell on my own time.
How did you tell them? Did you like call a meeting and be like, guys, I need to tell you something?
No, well, I have
I'm popping on Twitter.
You need to understand that I'm a big deal.
Yes. My tweets are lit.
Right.
Well, No, it was really more like I just had regular meetings with my bosses. So during our weekly meeting, I would be like, oh, and by the way, I have this podcast and it's kind of a big deal. Don't listen to it. But just letting you know I'm doing this, on the side. They were always dope about it.
We've only been doing this for like 2 months,
It feels like a day.
but already we're getting some pretty wild emails.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to know what kind of emails y'all get, because people write in a lot of wild shit.
Right. So our inbox is a fucking mess. Because we
Are you the one that reads through them all?
I am. I'm pretty sure Kid Fury never logs into that inbox because we have like a listener question portion of the show, and I'm the one who picks out the questions.
Right.
I go through and I really do try to read all of them, but there are so many that sometimes I just can't. And a lot of them are like utterly ridiculous, like things that I just don't even want to believe are real. Like we've had the cousin fucker letter where this girl wrote us because she had started a sexual relationship with her cousin, but now he had caught feelings and she didn't know what to do with him. And I was just like, but like you just slept with your cousin. Like I think you have way bigger issues than his feelings. Like you're like you knew he was your cousin and you slept with him. It's stuff like that. And then there's a lot of questions from like, just gay kids who want to know how to come out or how to deal with homophobic parents. Black people all over America and really across the globe dealing with racist stuff. And then a lot of white people asking us to define words that we use because they don't understand them. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of, can you guys put out like a glossary?
Oh my God.
Bless their
just
hearts.
use your context clues, girl.
Wow.
Yeah. And white people, of course, accusing us of being racist, which is my very favorite. I love that.
I love it when they write and then they demand that you explain yourself.
Yeah. Like,
listen.
haven't you heard the show? I don't do shit I don't want to do.
Exactly. Especially with somebody who neither pays my bills, buys my food, or wipes my ass.
Really,
like,
honestly,
what do I owe you?
Who do you think I am?
You think you are as well.
It's hilarious to me.
And also some of the emails that really trip me out are emails from well-meaning white people who end up saying really racist shit. Like, hey, I'm on your side, but you black girls do your fair share of touching people's hair without permission.
Oh my God.
That's a real
I
email
know
that we got.
the email you're talking about. Because I still think about it.
Right.
It's just, let's not even get into that.
Okay, let's not.
All right.
It's the happy time.
No,
I mean,
we were
happens.
talking about hair.
About our hair being touched by white people without
Yeah.
permission.
So it was very
Which is the
negative
thing-
context.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is the thing that I'm finding a lot of white people don't believe us when we say that.
Yes.
Like they need
Like,
to
genuinely
see it
don't
for
believe.
themselves before
Yeah.
they're like, oh shit, this really happens to you.
If they would just bother to listen to multiple black girls, especially with natural hair, they would see that this is a thing. I've talked about it multiple times on my show. And really every black girl I know has a story of white people treating her like she's an exhibit at the damn zoo.
Exactly.
Yes. Don't fucking, and it's just all about personal space. Girl, don't touch me. Race aside, I don't touch people. I do my very best.
You don't
to just
assume that
not
familiarity with somebody that you don't know.
because I don't like to be touched, and I don't
Exactly.
want people in my bubble. In New York, it's hard to maintain your bubble, but whenever possible, I just don't like
You ain't
people that
lying.
damn close to me. And it
Right.
just seems like people should be able to extend that same respect to each other. Just don't touch others.
Especially when it comes to your hair, because I'm always like, my brain is under here. I need this to live. I don't know what your intentions are.
I mean, and
I don't
what's
know.
on your fingers? Don't put that in my beautiful black hair.
What if you have like the flesh-eating disease or whatever? You
don't
touch
mess
my
up my
scalp, I'm
shea moisture,
dead.
girl.
You could kill me. Do not.
just don't touch me. Period.
So
really.
you moved to New York from Oklahoma.
I did.
I don't really know much about the South, to be honest, even though I'm from Virginia.
It's the Southwest. It's not the South, especially it. Technically, it's the
geographically-
South, but as far as culture is concerned, it's really
Yeah.
the Southwest.
Oh, okay.
It's really
I don't
Kansas,
even know shit. Let me stop talking.
Texas, Arizona. It's got a different culture than what we know as the
okay.
traditional South or
Yeah.
the Deep South. It's country as fuck. It's
Yeah.
just
Did you grow up
country.
with Confederate flags?
Yes, I did. And I did not realize the magnitude of the Confederate flag until well into adulthood because I was just so used to seeing that pickup trucks, all across the state. It was
Yeah.
just very, very common. And I knew what it was,
Right.
but I didn't realize how bad it was until I was good and grown. So I love Oklahoma, but it's hard not to be critical of it when it's just dead ass wrong on so many issues that are so important to me. And that was part of the reason why I felt like I had to go. I just knew it was going to continue to get worse. And I felt like I wasn't doing anything there. Like I was just treading
Very
water.
stagnant.
Like I was just wasting my life, waiting to get married and have kids because that's all there is
That's
to
what they
do.
do.
Like, So I just had to leave. I just had to get the hell out of there. And I could not be more happy that I left, but it is still home and I still love it. You know, my mom is still there and my brother. So it still means a lot to me. But, you know, they're fucked up about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What has the transition been for you to New York City from Oklahoma?
Well, at first it was very difficult. Like, I could not fathom why I had done this. People walked everywhere, which didn't make sense. Why would you walk anywhere?
Cars exist.
The
What are you
train
doing?
was so gross. The entire idea of the subway, like the novelty wears off after about the third ride. And you're like, oh, okay, this is bullshit actually. Especially when you realize like Times Square is the worst place in the world. And it was just like all the shit of New York was hitting me at once. And I just could not figure out why I had made this move. I knew why I'd done it originally. It was because I had come up here for a Beyonce concert. And then I felt compelled to move to New York because I was originally going to move to Atlanta. So, but, you know, the spirit of Beyonce told me to move to New York. So I did. But then I was just like, you know, this is hell. I hated it. But as time went on, the good about New York started to grow on me. And now I just feel like I've been here forever. It seems like I lived in Oklahoma a lifetime ago.
Do you get stopped on the street often by fans and people who follow you on Twitter?
Well, that does happen. And if I am looking busted, I will lie and be like, oh, no.
Oh, that's not me, girl.
Like, excuse me, are you Crissle? And I'll be like, no, but I get that all the time. Who the fuck is she?
Oh, my God. I'm going to start doing
I'm going to have to Google
Same,
this
I
bitch.
gotta do that too.
Yeah, you're like, oh, no. You're like,
I
no,
hope
but
she
I
cute
get
because
that.
I get that all the time. I hope she
You
cute.
have to say you get that all the time. Otherwise, they'll be like, bitch, I know it's you. If I look a mess, listen, don't approach me.
Do you feel like, I don't know, podcasts are a really intimate medium and you're like in people's heads every week.
Right. And that is why when people do approach me, I'm as nice as I can be about it because I am typically a very quiet person and I don't like to be disturbed. But I know that people are just excited.
Yeah.
And they tell me all the time, like, we feel like we're talking to you. Like, I converse back with you in the car or at home. And I love that, you know, so I love when I'm not discouraging people from coming up to me, but it does still startle me sometimes. I'm just like, whoa, wait a second. The other day, this girl did it on like a packed 2 train. It was like standing room only, and she's like, "Aren't you Crissle?" And so then all the white people are like, "Who are you?" Right? And I'm like, "Oh, girl."
I think she's a singer. I think I saw her on BET last week.
And then she wanted a picture, so it was just like, "Oh, this
bless
could
her heart.
probably not be, you know, a worse time, but it's all love, so I'm good with it."
You tweeted recently about Ancestry.com.
I did.
About finding out your background.
I did.
I'm so excited about
Talk to me
this.
about that
took
journey.
my
Tracy's
ethnicity
also
test.
maybe doing this.
So I have one of the Ancestry tests. I have this very irrational fear. I understand that it's an irrational fear. However, I still have it like in the core of my bosom.
Okay.
I'm so afraid that I'm going to get my test back and
Tracy, this is
it is
dumb.
going to tell me that I'm not black.
Yeah, I had that same fear.
What?
I was
Thank
just
you.
very concerned because, you know, I'm Black American, my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and I'm just like, please don't tell me that I'm like
Right.
5% African.
Thank
Please
you.
don't. I'll be devastated.
I feel so violated right
Wait,
now. I'm
what do
not
you
violated.
mean?
Fuck.
I was just very worried
I feel validated
that
right
being
now.
in America for so many generations had like warped me
Right.
genetically and I no longer had any blackness. I was concerned about that. So when I got my email and I found out I was like 66% African,
yes.
I was hyped. Yes.
So wait, what were your results?
So it was 35% Nigeria, 20% Ivory Coast / Ghana. And then the rest of it was like a mixture of those. It was 16% Europe West, which is, I think, Belgium, France, Germany, something like that. So that was like the majority of the whiteness. There was also some Irish, a few other countries in Africa. But overall, it was 66% African. And that is what I held on to.
Yeah,
That's so
dope.
fascinating to me. I guess
Yeah.
because every single member of my family is from Ethiopia. Like there's just it's just Ethiopia down the
Yeah.
line.
Wow. So if you did it, it would just be like 100
We're all
Ethiopia.
100%
Why did you
Ethiopians.
even
Yes. What a waste of our time. But yeah, like I don't know. It's so interesting being black in America
Yeah.
because
It is. It's a mind fuck.
I didn't know how much people felt that longing until college when people were talking about, oh, I kind of want to know where I'm from or like
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
a root. I'm like, well, you're from the South, or you're from your grandparents were there.
No, like really,
it was the same to me as just being
Right.
like, I'm from Ethiopia, but it's not.
It's really no. I mean, even though I do have a very close identity tied with Oklahoma and Louisiana and Texas, which is like that whole region where I grew. I was actually born in Louisiana, and most of my family, a lot of my family's still there. So it's that whole kind of area of the country that I know very much, and that is home to me. But you know, to see 35% Nigeria was just like, I want a Nigerian flag now.
Right.
Like,
That's what I want. Like, I want to
Lagos.
my African flag.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
I want to
God.
go now. Like,
My
it
people.
just felt
My
good
people.
to say, you know, this
Yes.
place, that place.
Flag means level up. Like, that's entry level. Yeah. Work on other things.
Right. I'm like, let me get on Amazon. I need a flag.
We asked people on Twitter for their questions for you. Most of them were, how are you such a bad bitch? Why are you my queen?
How do you slay? So
Verbatim.
much.
Y'all are so sweet.
But something that we also get asked a lot is, what other podcasts do you listen to? Because a lot of people who listen to our podcast are like, what other Black podcasts are there? And they're always like, we already listened to The Read, so what else can we listen to? So do you listen to any other podcasts?
I do. For the most part, I tend to keep it like the people that I know, the shows that they have. Obviously, I listen to y'all show. Yay. But my friends XD and Jade have a show called Two Guys and a Girl. And then, of course, on our network, the Loudspeakers Network, we have the Combat Jack Show, which is a hip-hop podcast. We have Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz, which is a mess.
That was an
Brilliant
interesting
Idiots. What a
interview
name.
you did.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
So
my
we
God.
had
Can we
them.
talk about that?
Those
We have enough
fools.
time?
I can't.
Yes, please go.
I mean, maybe just briefly, but it's like when you are in the studio with people that you respect professionally, but then you hear their opinions and you're just like, how the fuck are you this way? Like, people ask me how I can tolerate Charlemagne because I know Charlemagne. Like, I know him outside of TV and Twitter, and God only knows, like, because I know he makes himself look like an ass. And I tell him all the time, you were acting like an ass. You know, this is why people be like, throw a shade at your ass because you say shit like this. But, you know, like, I know him outside of that environment, so I know how he is, and that's how I can like him. But when he says something I don't like, I feel free to challenge him on that. And that's how, you know, I get along with anybody that I have to work with and don't necessarily agree with. It's just like, if I can't speak my mind, then there's no point to it.
Amen. So the internet for a couple of days was lit up after your appearance at Funny or Racist at WNYC.
Jesus.
I feel like you must be tired of talking about it, but it was like my favorite clapback moment of the year. So some background. There was a show called Funny or Racist at WNYC. And if I'm not mistaken, like, you have like certain scenarios that are given to you and you have to decide if it's funny or racist.
Yeah,
right?
it was like clips from different comedy moments, and then we were deciding as a panel whether it was funny or racist or both, because, you know, we agreed that it probably could be.
Right.
And so it was like two Black people, which is a record. Me and Deezus,
On the
who's
stage at one
everywhere.
time.
Deezus is on like every MTV
Hey,
show
Deezus.
and all that, everything now. And then a gay comedian named Guy, and then an Asian man who works for the Washington Post. And so it was like racially varied, sexuality varied, all this. But this moment that you're talking about happened at the very end of the program. So it
Please
was
walk us
after
through this
This is the
moment.
question and answer, of course.
Of course.
Right. It was the Q&A portion, and it was after I had been, you know, up there for an hour and a half giving my opinion. So there's no way he didn't know, you know, how I am. And this man who identifies himself as a discrimination attorney.
Oh my God, that's how he began.
And that's how I was just like, how is this real life? Like, and so anyway, to set it up, he asked me specifically about Sarah Silverman and her appearance in blackface, and asked me why I felt that it was racist, and suggested that maybe I only felt that way because of who Sarah is, and I wasn't inside her head, so I don't know her, and blah, 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 blah. And
In response to blackface.
Like, fam, you're doing a lot of reaching for her. Like, a lot.
like, do you realize the limb you're putting yourself out on right now?
You don't
for
know her
Sarah
internal
Silverman?
dialogue.
I mean, do you? Are you her fucking uncle or something?
Like, thankfully, this was all recorded, so we
Yeah.
can listen to this.
It was on video, so, you know, it was in full on angry Black girl mode, and, you know,
Poetry.
It is what it is.
Let's take a listen.
I don't think she's making fun in any way, shape, or form about black people when she does blackface. Because those of us who know the history of blackface is that not only did white people do blackface, but black entertainers had to do blackface to get jobs.
So you have to be really white to make a statement like that. That is just the whitest thing.
It's a comment about how ridiculous we as a society can be.
Bro.
This is fun.
Can we not? I'm really not about to do this.
I've never walked out on Paul Mooney, so you have to give me a pass.
And you're a discrimination lawyer. Holy God. So I'm going to go ahead and address that by saying, first of all, I can absolutely say that you're racist for being a white woman in effing 2014 or whenever it was she did this to put on blackface and go on television. Yes, I can absolutely call you racist for that. You understand the history behind it and you did it anyway. That is racist. I can say that. I'm a black woman. I'm going to just go ahead and take my word over yours on that. That's racist. And I don't like her for it. That is fine. No. It's fine for me. I don't. Where is my access to Sarah Silverman? I don't have to know what's inside.
All right, guys. You asked your question. Let the answer happen.
I don't have to know what's inside Sarah Silverman's head. I'm looking at her actions because her actions are what she's presented to me. She didn't put out a book called Sarah Silverman's Diary. Here, read my innermost thoughts and see how I came to these fuck-ass conclusions that I have today. She got on TV in blackface and decided that that was funny, and it's not. And you, as a white man, trying to tell me that my feelings are invalid because I don't know her is a crock of shit. No, I don't want to hear it. That's bullshit. You don't get to tell me that the way I feel about that doesn't matter or it isn't real. Fuck out of here. And that's why I go on my show every week and say what I need to say, because white people like you think that you have a goddamn point. Wow. Sweetie, and I'm done.
All right.
And sometimes you just have to tell white people, listen, the way you feel about it does not fucking matter, which is very new for them. They are not used to being told that their feelings aren't valid, but your feelings just aren't valid. I feel the way I feel about it because I'm black, and I get to say it's racist because I'm black in America. And however you feel about it is really irrelevant to the way I feel about it, period.
The part that got me was the part where he was like, I didn't walk out on Paul Mooney, so you got to give me a
That
pass.
was when I was just like, God wants me to do this.
Exactly.
Sometimes I just get signs, right? Because I have to bite my tongue a lot. And normally God doesn't give me the go-ahead. But on that day, he did.
It's wild that he cited Paul Mooney.
Exactly.
In a defense of...
And then to look at a black person and say... You have to give me anything, like you owe me anything.
Right.
I don't owe you shit. If anything, your folks owe my folks a whole lot more.
Like, let's not even get into who owes whom here, sir.
Listen, your debt, astounding.
But it also felt
reparations tab.
The reparations tab.
It felt really sexist in nature too, for him to single me out as the black woman, because he could have just as easily asked Jesus. Jesus and I had the exact same opinion on it, but it was me he decided to single out about that. And I think he thought because I was a woman, he was going to be able to talk over me or make his point, and that was just going to be it. And it's just sometimes you have to let people know, like,
gotta let them know.
You just have the wrong one today.
Yeah, or depending on what you're looking for, the right one today. It all depends.
You made a left turn when you should have made a right, but I'm gonna send you back in the correct direction. You fucked with the wrong one. You know, it happens.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
We could obviously sit here and talk forever.
Yeah.
Especially with the Henny flowing, which we may need refills soon. Hot spot, by the way. But we would like to wrap things up with a segment that we call For Better or For Worse, pew, 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 which is so strange. Okay. It's just always so strange to have to say this to people. In the planning meeting, it was like, oh my God, this is so cute. And then we're in the studio with Brandy and we're like, we have it's too late.
Anyways.
We in it. We're committed to it.
Okay.
So.
It's not too late.
I'm saying Heaven looks like she didn't really sign off on this. Like,
Heaven,
she's
you were
still
all
not
about
really
it.
on board.
Don't leave me hanging.
I
Heaven.
am not going to leave you hanging, but I'm not all about it.
Oh my God. We need to
discuss.
talk about this later.
Uh-oh. Time for a
okay.
chit
So
chat.
first question.
Okay, so rapid fire questions. Very, very random. Some are very, very strange. I'm looking at them now.
Okay.
Help. We'll start off easy. What is, in your opinion, the most underrated Beyonce video?
Green
Like,
Light.
oh,
Yes, excellent answer.
It's also the most underrated Beyonce song. Green Light, go slap the fuck
Green
off.
Light.
yes,
is dope. And that video was super, super dope too.
it is incredible.
And one of the
Yes.
lyrics is like a perm. If it's left too long, it starts to burn. Something like that. Beyonce did a lyric about perm burn.
It's okay. Like a perm that's been left too long. The result is it just won't take.
That is the blackest shit. Like, the fuck? I love it. So yes, Green Light.
Is that also the You Ain't Gotta Lie, Craig? Is that the same song?
No, that's Kitty Cat.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh.
Kitty Cat slept on though.
It is.
It's a.
Kitty Cat's a good song.
It's like when people were like, "Oh, the visual album's so sexy." It's like, have you been listening to Beyonce?
Right. No, people are brand new Beyonce fans. They're brand
Get
new
into
to
Kitty
this.
Cat.
This is a question that came from Twitter as well. If you were an inmate at Litchfield, who would you be and why? Litchfield is the prison from the Netflix series Orange is the New Black.
Well, my first inclination is to say Piper only because she is rich and has white privilege.
I was going to say she has all the white privilege.
Plus, she got to make out with Ruby Rose, who is so fine.
Guys, I'm on episode 3.
we're sorry.
Oh, fuck.
Oops.
I
that's
don't know. Honestly, the character that I like the most, so I guess I would be this person, is Tasty. She just consistently is a good-hearted person who is
Tasty is
looking out
so
for others.
dope.
And she just, even throughout this season, I just love her more and more. So her.
Yes. Good answer. Good answer.
Thanks.
Speaking of lesbians, next question.
Oh, God.
Weird segue, but it's relevant. If you could start your own lesbian bar, what would it be called? Here's the thing that I just learned like literally 10 minutes before we came here.
Okay.
According to Heben, there are no lesbian bars. There are just like lesbian nights at straight bars.
Or gay bars.
Or gay
As far
bars.
as I know, that's the truth.
I mean, they're
know
like
too
off
many
that.
I don't know too many like buildings that are dedicated
Yeah.
specifically for lesbian club activity. Like no, not even in Oklahoma. And I thought that would be very different here. I don't know. Maybe there are like speakeasies in Brooklyn or something. I'm probably in the wrong spot. I probably need to go to Brooklyn more often. But I don't know. I don't really have a very strong sexual identity, I guess. Like I've always identified as lesbian because it just makes the most sense to me. But really, I don't feel strongly one way or the other. So I'm probably not the best person to even start a lesbian bar. Really,
I mean, it sounds like there's a market for it.
I
since there
mean,
aren't
It
any.
definitely is.
But see, the thing
But-
is, how are you going to get black lesbians to go to one place? Like, I think we're gonna be split between Harlem and Brooklyn, and nobody in one wants to go to the other.
So you have a Harlem location and you have a Brooklyn location.
That's gonna have to
I don't know
be
if we can
it.
afford all that.
I can afford nothing, so you're absolutely
Right? No, sorry, I don't have it.
I forgot about this question. Would you rather have a head the size of a grapefruit or a head the size of a watermelon? Grapefruit reminds you of like this big.
No, but like, what is wrong with y'all? Who came up with that?
I stole this question from the internet somewhere.
Okay,
You gotta pick one though.
the fuck. I'm gonna have to say grapefruit.
Why grapefruit?
Because theoretically, I could just wear a helmet everywhere, and it would be weird. But it's New York, and it wouldn't be that weird. If your head is the size of a watermelon, there's no covering
It's
that
not
up.
a whole lot. You can get a couple wigs, but it looks
No, no,
funny.
you're not gonna be able to do anything about that. You can't walk around looking like Hey Arnold. It won't work. So
You
yeah,
can maybe start a career as a live action Hey Arnold.
that is just such a fucked up question.
Let's move on. It's pretty.
I mean, I love it, but like, what?
Okay. All right. Moving on.
All right.
This one is still not. It's strange too. So this question comes from the Twitter account First Date Questions, which is run by a coworker of ours, Matt Belisai. The Twitter is First Date Qs. Q as the Hennessy's working. I'm sorry. The Twitter account is First Date, then the letter Q and the letter S. So blame him for this question.
Okay.
Who would you let punch you directly in the face?
Blue Ivy Carter
Yes.
and no one else.
The next one, it just gets weirder from here. We've been talking for like a
One
long
last
time.
question, one last
Okay.
That's a first date question.
These are his
This
first
is
date
all
questions.
from Matt's mind. Matt's
He's
wild.
He's a very strange individual.
So he's single, or I'm genuinely asking. Okay. All right.
And then the other question that we pulled from this Twitter stream is, what's the most you've ever drunkenly spent at McDonald's?
Ooh. So listen, like
Story time. Let's go.
the one time I brought in the New Year at the Lesbian Club, and it was like Oklahoma City, and it was like $20 to get in, which is very expensive
Oh.
for Oklahoma City. But they sweetened the deal by making it all you can drink.
Oh, hell
What?
yeah.
For $20?
Listen, it's Oklahoma. The cost of living is very, very low. So $20 times 200 lesbians equals, your rent is paid for half a year. So I was extraordinarily drunk, and my friend thankfully was not, and drove home. And there was a McDonald's like right next to our neighborhood, like our subdivision. And so we went in and we went through the drive-through, and between the two of us we spent $45 at McDonald's, which is a feat.
They had a buffet.
I mean,
That
because
is
I think
glorious.
the
Every
average
single item.
it was like, so let me get like a number 6 and then like a number 9, but then also like 3 McChickens and 2 large fries. Like, no, we were going home to a house with like 5 people in it, but still $45 at
That's a
McDonald's
lot.
is ridiculous. Like, you should never spend more than 20 total. So I had to be drunk out of my damn mind. That was a night I regretted.
That's a great tab.
That's a goal. I want to be rich enough to go and spend $50 at McDonald's and still be able to pay my phone bill. That's what I want.
Goals.
Listen, they all matter.
This was so great.
Thank you for having me. You guys were so nice. This was fun.
Aw, please have more Hennessy so that we don't have to drink all that.
Where can people find all your awesome work?
So you can check out my website, Crissle.com, where you
For
can
those who don't know how to spell that.
CRISSLE.com. There's links to all the things I do. Check out The Read at thisistheread.com. It's just a fun show that I do with my friend, and we love doing it. So, I don't know what else to say. That's
All
it.
right. Yes, dope.
It's just fun goodness. Thanks
Fun,
for having
good
me.
vibes. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks, y'all.
Tracy, do you want to take it away? Introduce this new segment?
I would love to introduce this new segment.
She's been giggling all day about this.
I've planned. I have an outline. I'm not going to use it probably. But it's
What
here.
is the segment called?
The segment is called Tracy's Animal Corner. And if you're familiar,
Oh, Tracy, I'm so happy for you. All you do is talk about animals.
I know, I realized this recently. I like 50% of my Twitter timeline these days is animals. I'm really into like deciding which animals have souls and which ones don't.
Oh my God.
I started a Google document.
Is this a joke or no?
I can show you the Google document right now. I'm not
Okay,
joking.
so Tracy's serious, y'all. All
Okay,
right, talk
all
to
right.
us about Tracy's Animal Corner and what
So-
we got this week.
Tracy's Animal Corner will basically be an audio version of the skit that Tracy Morgan used to do on Saturday Night Live, Brian Fellows' Safari Planet.
Oh.
So good. Only I actually know a little bit about animals.
That bird was trying to buy a stereo with my credit card.
Mind you, I'm not an expert. I did not go to school for this shit. I just have feelings about animals.
Disclaimer, Tracy's not a zoologist.
So listen, don't email me with your actuallys. Well, actually, penguins don't. Blah blah blah. I feel like
I know nothing about animals.
you are the perfect audience for me.
I also don't really like most of them.
You are the worst audience for me.
But I'm going to let you rock.
Okay, so first up, first animal for Tracy's Animal Corner is the penguin.
Of course.
Let me tell you about penguins.
Okay.
One of the first articles that I wrote for BuzzFeed.com when I started was a list of 22 reasons why the penguin is like hands down the best animal.
Tracy, you're so cute.
So good. So, first of all, they are cute as shit. They are always dressed for a black tie event.
Oh my God.
Just in case some classy shit pops off.
They are
Who do you
cute, though.
know that wears a tuxedo literally all the time?
I don't know anyone.
Exactly. Nobody, because nobody is as classy as a fucking penguin is. So there's that.
Okay.
They are amazing parents,
Go on.
which is how I know that they have souls, right?
What do you mean by have souls?
Okay, so some animals have souls and some animals don't. It's just
Okay,
a thing that I feel.
what is your measuring? Like, what are your criteria for soulless animals?
That's a great question. That's a fantastic
All
question.
right, talk to me about them being parents. Is that what means they have a soul?
Yeah, okay. So what I've settled on as far as like the whole animals having souls thing is that if an animal can respond to its name and if it feels emotion, it has a soul.
How are you gauging that?
I don't know. I'm just drinking Hennessy and deciding stuff.
You have a spreadsheet. This seems serious.
It is serious, but I'm not a zoologist. I'm not a scientist.
You know what?
I am a human who is very much ruled by her emotion. And these are just things that I feel very, very strongly.
Okay.
You can trust me.
Okay.
I'm a soulologist.
Oh my God.
This is going a lot more rougher than I thought it would. It's hot. Okay, but just rock me. Okay. There's a documentary called March of the Penguins. Don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You should watch it. Oh my God, it is enthralling. It's all about penguins and like how they reproduce and like the cold winter that the father spends like keeping the egg warm while the mother goes from inland all the way out to wherever the hell they go to the water to fish and bring food back for the babies. And while the mothers are gone, like there's like all kind of predators and stuff trying to get at the fathers and the eggs and everything else. And there's a very delicate dance that the two of them do.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Where
Why did you put on your sexy voice?
that was not my sexy voice. That was my
very
concerned voice.
Oh, excuse me.
I can't help it. I'm just sexy out of
Oh
hand.
my God.
No, but really, so after the egg is laid, the mother like balances it on her feet, on her claws, on her little, so these are penguin hands. These are penguin.
No one can see this, Tracy.
You can see it.
All right, so they got a little.
Okay. So they balance the egg on top of their feet, right? And they cover the egg with like a roll of fat to keep the egg warm. But before the mom goes off to hunt, she has to transfer the egg to the father's feet, right?
Okay.
So there's a scene, and I won't spoil it for you. It's really fucking sad. I'm gonna spoil it. There's a scene where where the mother is like trying to transfer the egg to the dad, and like it's round, right? And penguins don't have like hands and opposable thumbs and shit. So if they drop the egg, then that's just it. Like the egg dies.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
I know, right? It's stressful as shit. And so the good news is that they transfer the egg. Bam, great. Mama goes off and goes fishing.
How did they even successfully do that?
I
with
know.
no
You know how
eggs?
much love and how much concentration.
Understand the physics.
I know.
All
They're
right.
amazing animals. But at one point, after the egg hatches or whatever, the chick like wanders off and it freezes to death and it dies.
Oh my God.
You need to see this mother mourning her dead
no.
chick. When you see this, there's no question in your mind that penguins have souls and that they are just amazing and devoted parents. Like, until you've seen a penguin cry,
Oh my gosh.
you have not known sorrow. Okay? Not until you see
I
her.
guess I hadn't thought about it.
Okay, so that was a little sidetrack. So they're great parents. They definitely have souls. Aside from this, they look fly as shit. We already talked about the tuxedos.
Yes.
Let me tell you about the macaroni penguin real quick.
The what?
It's called the macaroni penguin.
Okay.
Everybody Google macaroni penguin because we can't show this to you. These motherfuckers have like the most amazing like blonde weave you've ever seen in
Oh
your
my
life.
God.
Swear to God. Swear to God.
Tracy, I'm looking it up right now.
Please do. Look it up and then give me your response. I mean, just fly. Just like ready for the club all the time. Number 2, the yellow-eyed penguin does a fantastic job blending eyeshadow. Look it up. Look at this bitch. Show me. Hey, where's the YouTube tutorial for this shit?
Okay, Tracy. I don't know if I can give you this one.
Okay, anyway. I only have 2 more minutes. Let's talk about their athletic ability. They can jump up to 7 feet in the air, at least emperor penguins can. 7 feet in the air from the water. They can also dive up to 1,870 feet below the surface of the water.
That's wild.
It's impressive, right? What can a penguin not do? Nothing.
Penguins can probably dunk. Shit.
Exactly. Hell yeah, they can. Most important, they inspired one of the best dances of all time.
What is that?
It's a dance called the Funky Penguin. You just got to Google it. I would get up and do it for you, but nobody else would be able to see it. It's not fair to the listeners. Okay. So there's a scene. You're not well versed in Martin episodes, right?
No.
Damn. Well, for the
sorry.
listeners, there's an episode of Martin where Pam and Jerome go out on a date. Like Jerome's like really trying to like get Pam to like settle down or whatever. And there's a part where they do this dance in Jerome's living room. The dance that they're doing is the Funky Penguin. Couldn't have that without the penguin.
Okay.
You couldn't have it. One of the most important moments on the Martin show would not have happened without the penguin. Penguins are dope. I'm here for penguins.
I see it for them.
I feel like that's a very diplomatic response.
Show me a penguin that can dunk.
7 feet in the air. If you could jump 7 feet in the air, what would you do?
Dunk.
Exactly. Okay.
I just really want to dunk, guys. Shout out to penguins.
All right, Heben, it's that time again.
What time is it?
Time to buy a round.
Hey.
What are you buying a round for?
I would like to buy a round for
Me.
Yes, the
Yay.
Tracy. And also for this new documentary called 3.5 Minutes, 10 Bullets. It premiered at Sundance, and I believe it's going to be airing on HBO in the fall. It follows the trial of Michael Dunn, who, if you remember from last year, actually it was in 2012, what they called the loud music trial from Florida. So the story was basically these 4 boys were in a car, including Jordan Davis, and a white guy in a car next to them was like, turn down that like thug music, and then it somehow escalated and he shot them. The documentary is chilling just for that story alone, but they get a lot of access to his parents. It's like really intimate. You see them talking about like their hopes for the trial, and then the story follows it throughout the trial, and like you see all of their reactions. And it just reminded me there are real people like at the heart of this story. Like if you just keep hearing about Black kids that were killed, they start to all blend together, you know? They lose their individuality. But Jordan Davis, like all I saw of him was like that picture of him in a, like, you know how when you take school pictures, it's like that weird blue background.
Yeah.
I just only had that one image of him, and I realized I didn't know anything about his life or who he was. So it was nice to like just honor that by telling the full story for at least like one, you know, whatever hour-long documentary or something.
It sounds heavy.
It is heavy, honestly, but it's one of those things where I feel like there's such an empathy gap in the way we talk about these stories, and it's really helpful to have this to give to people to be like, these are real people who are like
not just
crying out for
headlines.
help.
Yes,
They're not just
Twitter
yeah.
hashtags.
So it was directed by Mark Silver, and I'm kind of like, I hate watching documentaries about crime and things like that because it's always like some white dude documentarian's like, let me go in these neighborhoods and ask these people how they feel, and I'm all in the story. It's like, yo, chill. And this is like, the director wasn't in the story at all. It just follows the trial, like these characters, these families, and it was like a refreshing, sad story that needed to be told. I'm going to play a little bit, a clip of it. And this is a portion where, it's really sad. This is a portion where Jordan Davis's father is watching the news, and they're talking about Trayvon Martin and Jordan Davis. And he's reflecting on how he's talked to his son about Trayvon Martin. And he was saying his son is like, you know, Dad, we kind of look alike.
Damn. Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, so it's heavy. It's deep, y'all. It's a lot. I'm sorry. But I just feel like it's something that it's helpful to have in a story because sometimes you'll just lose that in all the news and the chaos in the media.
A couple of few similarities. Obviously, we have a white man, an adult, shooting and killing a Black 17-year-old.
Me and Jordan had talked about the Trayvon Martin case. I remember Jordan put a hoodie on. He has a brown hoodie. He said, we kind of look alike,
I
Dad.
think the biggest difference is that there are witnesses here. In that case, you had the word of George Zimmerman versus a dead kid, and the dead kid can't talk.
Trayvon Martin's father texted me a couple of days after it happened. I just want to welcome you to a club that none of us want to be in.
I love true crime and true crime documentaries and true crime shows, but I can't watch documentaries about Black people or Black men who have been like murdered by in the manner that Trayvon Martin was killed and like Jordan Davis was killed. It just like hits too close to home to me. Like they could be my, you know, it's just different. It's just different for me.
And these boys like talk about like, it's wild that they just saw like 4 Black kids. There were 4 Black kids in the car. And they're talking about like their relationship to rap and how like white people see it as like this, like it's such a loaded thing. And like they're talking about how thug is the new N-word for them. And like these are kids talking about their lives and it just feels too close to home. So it's a lot. So a round for 3.5 minutes, 10 bullets. It's probably going to be on HBO docs soon.
So my round, speaking of the N-word, is for my nigga President Obama, who has been making white people all kinds of upset.
Why?
Because
what happened?
He went on, what's the guy's name? Mark Maron's podcast, and he used the quote unquote N-word in the sense that he was saying like, oh, you know, racism is more than just like not saying the word nigger in public or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And he said the full word. He didn't say N-word. And people have just been going insane. Don Lemon was on CNN with the sign that said nigger on it. Like, everybody's like speaking out against what he said and blah, 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 blah.
Racism, we are not cured of.
Clearly.
And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say nigger in public. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior.
This man deserves a round for so many reasons. Being the first black president alone. Please have the entire bottle of Hennessy that's on the desk right now.
But also, like, people acting like he's the first president to use that word.
Exactly. And somebody, it was Michael Arsenault, our good friend, who is a freelancer for pretty much every publication on the internet right now. He's killing it. He wrote something for, I think, Talking Points memo. I have to confirm that in a second. That said, he's not the first president to use it he's not the first president to use the N-word. He's the first one to not use it as a slur.
Ooh.
Right? Which is so
he's
true.
the only one who used it properly in context.
Exactly. Exactly. There are more presidents who own slaves than there have been like black presidents who said the word, the N-word in this context.
You know, Obama was in the house, like the White House, like, nigga, please.
Right. These niggas.
These motherfuckers. That's all you're going to say about the interview?
Exactly.
But also, Obama, why are you going on Marin? You should obviously be on our show.
Listen, I'm kind of in love with President Obama. So, I mean, I forgive you preemptively. However, I'm wounded that you would go there first. You can say all kind of N-words.
He went to his
here.
garage.
Listen, we at least have a stewed.
Yes.
At the very least, we have a stewed. But I mean, it's just foolish. It's ridiculous outrage. It's a distraction from all the horrible things that are actually going on here now. So, Obama, listen, you did the right thing. Fuck everybody else. I know that you may have filled your podcast quota for the remainder of your presidential career. Should your children like a podcast to come on to?
Sasha, if you're out there listening,
we got seats for you. We can go.
We would love to have you on.
We can have some sparkling
dream
juice.
guests.
Yes. Please come by.
Michelle,
First Lady.
please.
We would love to have you here as well.
I don't know why I'm on first name basis with her. I'm sorry. First Lady, please get on our show.
But I mean, he just deserves. I can't wait for the book. I can't wait for him to be out of office so he can really let his hair down and we can see how often he actually says the N-word.
He's
I
gonna
feel
let
like
out
it's
some
a lot.
subtle clapbacks soon.
Yes,
He's
yes.
like, fuck this shit.
Yes. So this is an N-word friendly studio. President Obama, please come to us and have a round.
And
can you imagine
Obama?
Obama?
All the N-words.
We will say them with you. We will say them with you. Can you imagine Obama just like kicking back with some Hennessy?
I can very
yes,
easily.
Exactly. Come do that here, please.
Yeah.
So that's who my round is for.
Round of Henny for Obama.
Yes. Yay! We did it again. We did it again. Hey,
every time we finish, it feels miraculous to me.
I know. I can't believe we made it through. And this time we had Hennessy in the studio and we're still fairly sober.
Yeah, we are.
I had a moment. I had my moment earlier during the end.
Shout out to Tracy for making it through.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Crissle for coming through. Shout out to the Reed for holding it down for like 2.5 years.
Starting all this shit.
Shout out to the Pod Squad. That's Eleanor Kagan, Jenna Weiss Berman, and Julia Furlon. Shout out to Paul Ruest at Argo Studios.
Paul has on sleeves today, but
throwing at us all off.
I know. He's still dashingly handsome though.
Yes, shout
out Paul. Shout out to our musical contributors, Jean Grey and Don Will of the Almighty Tanya Morgan, who blessed us with some custom tunes for the show. Shout out to Heben. Couldn't do this without you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Tracy, for making it through.
It was rough.
But also holding me down every day.
Oh my my God. You're welcome, girl.
As always, find me at Heaven Rants. Find Tracy at
Brokey McPoverty.
And thank y'all for listening.
Boo, boo, boo. Follow us on Facebook, too. Another round on Facebook, another round on Twitter.
We might get a Vine account.
Ew, another round on
This is
Vine.
some fun stuff.
Ew.
Thanks for listening, y'all. Eat some fruit.
Call your mom, drink some water, take a walk, take a break, take your meds.
Watch The Office.
Oh, I need to take my meds, too. Shit.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's end there. Yay!
Ow, 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 ow.
We did it.
Rocket supply.